Hello everyone, welcome to Renal Rehabilitation Laboratory. This is you, a physical therapist. This time, I'd like to talk about the ADL after initiation of dialysis in elderly people. ADL is one of the important indicators for elderly people, especially dialysis patients. However, there are still many unclear topics about them even now, so let's learn about it. This is the study that I will talk about. Functional status of elderly adults before and after initiation of dialysis. It was published from the New England Journal of Medicine in 2009. First, I'll check the background of this research. In the United States, increasing numbers of elderly patients with end-stage renal disease are starting dialysis. The extent to which dialysis extends life and its effect on the quality of life in elderly patients who are frail or disabled remain unclear. Functional status is a key aspect of the quality of life, a strong predictor of survival, a determinant of caregiving needs and healthcare costs, and a factor in decisions about medical procedures such as the use of feeding tubes or cardiopulmonary resuscitation. However, the trajectory of functional status during the transitional period from chronic kidney disease to end-stage renal disease is unclear, and to our knowledge, the effects of the initiation of dialysis on functional status have not been investigated. This research studied the trajectory of functional status before and after the initiation of dialysis among elderly nursing home residents with end-stage renal disease, and this aimed to evaluate the frequency of short-term and long-term maintenance of functional status after the initiation of dialysis and to estimate the effect of the initiation of dialysis on the trajectory of functional status. Second, I'll talk about the method. The data was used from the US renal data system linked with data from the minimum dataset to identify nursing home residents who started treatment with dialysis between June 1998 and October 2000. Minimum dataset activities of daily living score was used to identify functional status. It evaluates the ability to perform each of 7 ADL: eating, dressing, toileting, maintaining personal hygiene, walking, transferring from chair to a standing position, and changing position in bed. Each activity is rated from 0 to 4 points. 0 is independence, 1 is the need for supervision, 2 is the need for limited assistance, 3 is the need for extensive assistance, and 4 is dependent. The change in functional status was determined at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months after the initiation of dialysis, using the last measurement of functional status before the initiation of dialysis as a baseline. A decline in functional status was defined as an increase of 2 or more points in the MDS-ADL score and maintenance of functional status as no increase or an increase of 1 point. Third, I informed the result. The mean age was 73.4 years and 60% for women. 68% of them had diabetes, 66% of them had congestive heart failure as coexisting condition. Also, among the 69% of them were hospitalized at the start of dialysis. This figure shows the prognosis of patients. Within 3 months after the start of dialysis, 61% of subjects had died or had a decrease in functional status. Furthermore, within 12 months after the start of dialysis, 87% of subjects had died or had a decrease in functional status. The initiation of dialysis was associated with a decline in functional status, indicated by an increase of 2.8 points in the MDS ADL score. This figure indicates the trajectory of functional status and cumulative mortality. The rate of functional decline accelerated approximately 3 months before the initiation of dialysis. Even after accounting for this acceleration, the decline in functional status associated with the initiation of dialysis remained large and significant. Then, functional status stabilized between 1 and 4 months after the initiation of dialysis and they continued on a downward trajectory. Fourth, I lingered about discussion. Why does functional status decline in so many subjects despite the treatment of umeria? There are 4 other ideas for the question of declining in ADL. First, there is a high prevalence of disability at baseline in this population, and a large number of patients have one or more coexisting conditions. Second, functional decline may be a consequence of hospitalization occurring at the time of the initiation of dialysis or a consequence of clinical events leading to hospitalization, rather than a consequence of declining kidney function. Third, the benefit of correcting umeria may be outweighed by physical risks associated with dialysis and the psychological burden of such therapy. Fourth, kidney failure may be a reflection of terminal multi-organ dysfunction rather than a primary cause of functional decline, and thus, the initiation of dialysis may not rescue patients from an inevitable decline. Efforts to address the goal of care, alleviate suffering, and maintain functional independence might be best targeted to this critical period rather than withheld until after patients have started to undergo dialysis. Provision of dialysis care in inpatient rehabilitation facilities could reduce the burden on patients and facilitate participation in rehabilitation programs. Although dialysis care is not available in most rehabilitation or nursing home facilities, interventions that promote self-care and the use of community services have been shown to prevent disability in community-dwelling geriatric populations, but they have not been tested in patients with end-stage renal disease. Finally, this is a conclusion of this research. Nursing home residents who are starting to undergo dialysis have a substantial and sustained decline in functional status in addition to very high mortality. What do you think about it? I recognize again that the importance and difficulty of maintaining functional status in chronic kidney disease patients. Although there are many unclear issues that we should reveal, it's no doubt for us to be able to make them better. Thanks for watching. I'm waiting for your comments. See you again in the next video. Let's keep learning together.